Ya tú sabes. You already know. Justin Leon. Figure maybe I'll start a certain type of story here. I'm gonna call it Hustler's Ambition. And I'm gonna start with a story. I was like 17 years old, uh, taking multiple trips a week to New York City, Manhattan, South Bronx, a few times Harlem. And I was 17. I live in Massachusetts. I was taking the 3 hour trip to New York. And at the time, I was hustling ecstasy and cocaine. And I was going down there. The first trip I took, I was giving someone I knew a ride. And I was getting a deal on the price for giving them the ride. Uh, I was supposed to take. We were supposed to go down in the morning, like 7 o'clock. Um, I was in Connecticut at a club all night, hustling, partying, and it was Club Vibe at the time. I think it was called Club Vibe. So when we get back into town, the dude that I was supposed to bring, Big L, um, he wasn't ready. And now I've been up all night at the club hustling and stuff like that and partying. And I was hoping to get right to it. Been up all night. And I know I got to take this 3 hour drive and it's 3 hours back. And like you said, he wasn't ready. He wasn't ready till like 12, whatever. Me, him, and my brother, my buddy Joel get in the car, whatever. We take that ride. We get down there, about 3 o'clock. Uh, and this is how I met my connect down in New York, because this dude was in New York. We got there at 3. We didn't leave till 9:30. And back in the day when you were walking around New York, and if you looked a certain type of way, especially with mass plates, uh, so many Puerto Ricans. It was always the Puerto Ricans that holler, "Yo, papi, I got those whites, those blues, those greens. We got that perico, the mantega, the white, the brown, the tan, the greens, the blues, whatever you need." And so, whatever. We waited down there. We didn't leave till like 9:30. But on the way back, now mind you, I had been up all night, and not the speed will work on you, but I just zoned out. I was so tired. I was half asleep, and I'm on the Taconic Parkway, and I'm doing, I don't know, I think I was doing like 95 miles an hour. Like I just wasn't alert as I should be, and nobody, the two people in the car didn't say anything to me, and boom, I'm just zoning out, like literally tunnel vision, trying to get home, and I'm speeding, and I get pulled over. Now, mind you, at the time we probably had like 5 ounces of coke in the car, probably like 5,000 ecstasy pills, and at the time I think like 10 ecstasy pills was trafficking. So they pulled me over. Comes up, license, registration, blah blah blah. And he goes, you were going 95. Where are you coming from? And it's two white boys in the front. My friend was black in the back, and I didn't want to say New York City. I was like, we're coming from Hudson. Mind you, I'm 17 again. You know what I mean? And this first time I got stopped trafficking something. And I was like, Hudson. And I don't know how he knew it, and I don't know where I got pulled over on the Taconic Parkway where he would have known the difference, but he goes, going kind of fast from coming from Hudson. And I was like, man, we're coming from Hudson. And he was like, which street? And so, quick thinking, the only thing I could think of is a street that everybody has. I was like, Main Street. And he was like, Main Street? Stop fucking lying to me. You ain't coming from Hudson. Where are you coming from? And at 17, whatever, I was like, all right, man, we're coming from the city. And he was like, oh, what'd you bring back with you? And of course, thinking on my feet, I was like, no, my buddy needs to go down and see his, sick grandmother. And I brought him down to see his grandmother. I'm just trying to, get home. I'm tired. He's like, all right, wait right here. Goes back to the car. Next cop car pulls up. I'm like, fuck. So boom, I get on the horn. Now, at that time, I didn't know Mass is a little bit different than New York. In New York, you can get a ticket and not pay it. But if you get the second ticket and not pay it, your license to drive in New York is gone. So I'm like, fuck. In my mind, I'm thinking, we got all this work on us. I probably don't even have a license to drive it because I had gotten a ticket like when I was 16. When I was on like a learner's permit or whatever and got caught in New York. And so I called my mother up. I'm like, yo, Mom. I was like, yo, tell Lori to go to, which was my girlfriend at the time, Lori. I said, yo, she knows where my stash of money's at. I need you to be ready. I got pulled over in New York, and at the time, I had told my mother I was hustling. She kind of knew, so, like, I was like, I got pulled over in New York, so she knew what I meant. I was like, I'm coming back from New York City. I said, tell Lori to grab the bag of all my money, just in case. And I said, I think I'm going to get locked up, and it's going to be a problem. And I got off the phone with her. And then the cop came back to the car, and mind you, there's another cop behind him. And he starts flashing his flashlight around. And he's looking around, and he looks on my back seat. And he goes, what's that? What's that pot seed on the seat? And now, mind you, my buddy had just got finished smoking a blunt. And my buddy's like, where? And he starts moving around the seat like back and forth, like, what are you talking about? And he goes, that pot seed. My man picks it up, flicks it out the window, and goes, that ain't no pot seed. And my mind at the time, we're really going down. It's over with. It's fucking over with. And, he fucked around a little bit more, asked a few more questions, walked back to the car. I'm sitting there for like 45 minutes. Another cop car pulls up. And I'm like, we're all going to jail, man, right? We're done, right? They're gonna probable cause, they're going to pull us out, they're going to search us. And I don't know if they just didn't want to do paperwork that night or what. But the cop comes up. Actually, he asked for everybody's ID in the car. The second time after the pot seed thing. So, and when he went back to the cop car, he comes up, he gives me a seatbelt ticket, he gives me a speeding ticket, he gives my front passenger a seatbelt ticket, gave the license back to the dude in the back, and said, there's no law in New York that you need to have a seatbelt in the back seat as an adult. He goes, you guys are free to go. So whatever, we start driving away. We're like, oh my fucking God. This would have been in the papers. They would have had a field. Like I said, at the time, I was 17 years old. About to be 37 this month. We're talking 20 years ago. 10 ecstasy pills was trafficking. And we had like 5,000 of them. Plus the cocaine. The perico. The coke. You know what I mean? So... And we're driving down, and I'm like, yo, these dudes is fucking with us. I was like, yo, they're like, wow, they would have had a field day. And I was like, yo, I swear to God, they're gonna there's gonna be fucking canines and everything right down the street or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, this is the okey doke. And nothing, man. We fucking drove back to our city, did what we had to do. But again, while we were down there waiting for so many hours. Me and my buddy picked up another connect. And it happened many times we were down there. Every time we went down there, we practically met a new connect. But it was just crazy, man. Like having to call my mom, 17 years old. You know, she knew what I was doing, just to be like, yo, tell my girl to grab my, what I mean, go to the safe, get my money, because I'm going to jail tonight. We got caught coming back from the city. And it just didn't happen, man. Grace of God, it didn't happen then. You know what I mean? I went 10 years of hustling without getting caught. And it took a snitch to bring me down. But that'll be for another story. I went 10 years, man. Practically more than that, but I count my heavy years. 10 heavy years of hustling. You know, at my peak, I was making, just on a weekend, probably like 40 grand. It was good for me. You know what I mean? 40 grand was plenty of money. I would say a week. We'll just call it a week, because, you know what I mean? It was Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and sometimes Monday was a big day because of all the people trying to get over their hangovers from the weekend. At that time, my peak, it was just selling fucking coke. But that's my story. I think I'm gonna start dropping them. I don't know what I'll call them: hustler stories, hustler chronicles, hustler whatevers. But I thought, all these jailbreak stories and jail stories and all that stuff, even though I got those too, figure maybe I'll talk about some of my hustling stories. So it is what it is. You already know. Ya tu sabe. Justin Leon. You already know, man. One.